Hello viewers, me and team here. This is not a Let's Play, but rather an announcement video. I do not do these often, but I figured I'd better do one this time. Starting off on the Civilization 4 page here. Just an announcement that I don't have any Civ 4 material for the near future, and that's going to be problematic because I'm actually going skiing for about a week, starting tomorrow. So I really don't have time between what I have to do to get ready for that and leaving to do any more recordings for Let's Plays of Civilization 4. So I'm not going to have any material along that aspect. I do, however, have a long stream of Heroes 3 videos, pretty much pre-recorded, so I'm going to upload a chunk of them. Hopefully that'll tide you guys over while I am gone. I thought about doing, say, a macro that would upload it while I was away, but you know what? There's a little bit more work than I felt necessary. It seemed a little convoluted too. I mean, if you guys want to watch them all at once, by all means. I mean, I used to upload things all at once anyway. Or if you want to watch just one a day, just for the time that I'm gone, keep going, either or. Just do however you want. Or if you don't have discipline, well, I can't help you. I don't have discipline either, so no advice for me on that regard. But anyway, that's not the only thing I'm going to announce in this video. But yeah, just look for a bunch of Heroes videos right after this one's uploaded, and that should be that. Next part that I'd want to talk about, I've been getting some requests. This looks like my channel color scheme wise, but this is not my channel. This is some people have been asking me what TMFTP is all about. Well, you can see it right here. Too Much Free Time Productions. Hopefully this will reduce some of the questions I'm still getting about the video tags that I'm using. And the way this works is we're pretty much all affiliated with this one channel here. And as you can see, here's my channel, but there's also other Let's Players doing channels as well. So anyone you want to check out, this is a good hub for doing so. And this channel itself will upload some videos as well. Looks like it is mostly Call of Duty. It's Black Ops right now. It has been doing quite a bit of World at War as well in the recent history. So yes. And the final thing I want to address right now is why I am not doing a lot of Civilization 5 videos, and well, any recently. And the reason is I have not been playing a lot of Civ 5. Pretty much a week or two after I finished my last Let's Play, or maybe a little bit longer than that, I stopped playing it. I don't even really play it with the Polycast crew on the weekend as much any longer. We've kind of found separate games. Some people still play Civ 5. Some people have gone on to other things, such as I don't know, Minecraft, Magicka, StarCraft 2, you name it. We get some Civ 4 games now and then. Just depends. But okay, well, why am I not playing Civ 5? Well, I could tell you guys in very, very heavy detail, or I can direct you to this page right here by the talented Civ 4 and, well, I don't know if you can be talented at Civ 5, but Civ 5 as well, player Sola, who's a little bit more keen on the multiplayer scene than me. I've done some GameSpy games in Civ 4 and wrecked people, surprisingly, because I don't play a lot of multiplayer. But yeah, a couple of my friends asked me to do a big free-for-all with them on GameSpy, and I just crushed somebody with the Milanese right away. It's kind of funny. But anyway, this is an exhaustive list of why Civilization 5 does not match up as a game. That's right, I am not comparing it to other games in the series. It is on its own a bad game, and there's so many problems with it. And you can you can read in detail. I agree with virtually everything Sola says. I have a little bit different priority on what I think are the biggest problems with the game, but nonetheless, like for example, I find the user interface to be a much bigger problem than the majority of players seem to say. But like for example, the multiplayer is borked. There's really no incentive against ICS that has been successfully implemented, and I think the design causes trouble with that. This is a big one right here. And this is a part of the reason I really quit on the game in general, is that Firaxis has made it painfully obvious that they just don't care. Yeah, when the game was released, you could not move after you hit end turn in multiplayer. And as far as I'm aware, that is still true. And until that's changed, I'm not willing to play multiplayer. Because what happens is you end turn and you can't give any orders. Well, okay. If you're playing with a bunch of people who are slower than you, that is a really, really frustrating thing. It's frustrating enough that the turn timer is painfully slow. And then on top of that, you can't even give commands if you end turn more quickly. So you're penalized for that. But in a competitive setting, it gets so much worse. Is what happens is anybody who hits end turn before the turn timer runs out is vulnerable to double moving, and there's no like built-in 8-second rule or anything like that to stop double moving. So you can just wait until somebody hits end turn, move your troops into their territory, and they can't do anything about it at all. They have no reaction time until the following turn. So everybody, and I mean everybody, should, like, if you want to play well, you just wait until the turn timer is almost over before hitting end turn, or when essentially that it is over, or even taking most of your moves. So it turns into a straight double move game, and that's really bad. Combining with the fact that the turn timer is slow as molasses, that's really bad. That one thing completely breaks multiplayer, and that's of course assuming you can even connect to more than 3 or 4 people. So it's the multiplayer experience in Civ 4, Civ 5, which is where I was having fun with it, or trying to have fun with it. That's shot, and the single player is just frustrating because you get those carpets of doom. Where's a good picture? Someone was asking me to do a Deity let's play of Civ 5. Well, people asked me to do that in Civ 4 as well. But let me see if I can find the picture because this sums it up so well. Where is it? I need to find this picture. Here we go. This is why I recommend not playing Deity and Civ 5. Can you beat that? You absolutely can, because those things all clustered together and they can't do anything, essentially. So you can kill unit after unit after unit after unit, and eventually you can win. But look at that. Look at that. Do you want to fight that? Does anyone want to fight? Does anyone want to deal with that? Is that good for immersion? Is that good for anything at all? And those are the kind of bonuses that they're needing to give the AI to compete, because the current model of the game is just flawed. And of course, this is impossible for the human. You would break in half in maintenance, and yeah, yeah, you would lose those units very quickly. But it's not needed because you can actually beat this many units with like 5 or 6 units as long as they all stay on land like that. So, ouch. That's why I do not want to go above, say, Emperor Immortal on Civ 5. That is, if I were even willing to play Civ 5 any longer. And Solo makes a great point about the relative sizes of the units against hexes against the total map, with so little distance between cities and really relatively small amounts of land. The 1 unit per tile leads to situations like this very often, and this is pretty much what high difficulties always wind up happening. You get so many of these units blocking you, and it's just frustrating to play. Aside from the fact that the game itself runs really slowly, you have to wait a bunch of times between turns. Somebody ran an experiment with workers, and they added a bunch of workers to the AI, and it would take like over a minute just because the AI had to map out all its worker actions. When you're playing online and you click on a worker, it actually sends your possible worker actions over the net. It's just horrible. Just horrible. And yeah, that brings me to the final thing. I've made several references to this throughout, and this is fun. Uh, TV tropes is always great. I'm sure the vast majority of my viewer base is already familiar with TV tropes, but if you're not, well, you miss out no longer. You can read about pretty much any trope, not just gaming, on TV tropes, and a lot of it's pretty funny. There's a lot of funny writing on TV tropes. It's good as an entertainment source, just reading through it, if that's your thing. And this one in particular, I always enjoyed, is fake difficulty. And when I talk about fake difficulty in both Civ 4 and 5, this is what I'm referring to right here. And people ask me, why do you why do you turn off events? Well, let's see. Does this sound familiar? Yeah, yeah, that's there. Denial of information critical to progress. That is absolutely there, both in Civ 4 and 5. and you don't really know this without code diving, like for example, what the AI will and will not declare a war on you for doing. Um, the fact that they can detect worst enemy trades, that kind of stuff. This is pretty much HUT's end events in a nutshell right here. Outcome is not reasonably determined by player actions. So just going mass, repetitions until you get good stuff. That's definitely fake difficulty. This is more of a Civ 5 thing. I had an issue in Civ 5 where I had a trebuchet set up and I had a city in view and it said ranged attack. So I right clicked on the city and the trebuchet moved. That would be this aspect. And yeah, not so much number 5. Civ at least is okay there. You really don't have any trivia from non-genre specific things, or really any trivia required in it. But 1 through 4 are just textbook cases and that are just seen all throughout Civ 4 and 5 in terms of fake difficulty. So that's why I'm not doing Let's Plays of Civ 5. There actually is a Let's Player doing Civ 5 videos, so if you guys are interested in it, I'll direct you to his page, because it's not something that's enjoyable for me to do, and that's why I'm not doing it. Here we go. I think I've mentioned it once before, but Bibor here, or yeah, let's see here. Well, let me get his proper list up. Well, here's referencing me, but there's also and Majin, who's very prevalent on Polycast as well. He's one of our most common guests now that we switched over to the live format for Polycast. He's also starting some Let's Plays. I've been trying to give him some tutoring. And these are my Civ 5 Let's Plays. I'm probably not going to do any more in the near future. We'll see. And then here's his links to his as well. So you have some Civ 5 material if you're interested in it. But it's just not my cup of tea right now. And if they ever do actually make it a playable game, as far as I'm concerned, like say the user interface actually works, you don't have to exit out of a city. You don't have to click on a city and then get the unit queue out of your way just so you can give commands to the city. You have multiplayer that works. Specifically, you can actually move after hitting end turn, and you have a reasonable turn timer. If you can maybe balance the expansion a little bit better, the draws of expanding horizontally versus vertically, any of that. Maybe even rework the entire anti-ICS mechanic from top to bottom, as well as the entire technology mechanic. If those things happen, then I will revisit Civ 5, and maybe it'll become a good game. But I'm telling you, the history of patches from start of Civ 4 until now do not suggest that Civ 5 has hope. It's so often when you see patch notes, there'll be patch notes along the lines of, okay, well, we're seeing walls. People are overflowing walls in Civilization 4 into gold by whipping them and chopping a bunch of trees. We can't have that. We have to patch that out. So they'll patch that out, and then the game will still have issues with it, quote unquote, thinking that you're holding down Alt and make you declare war on an AI without prompting. Or, you can't control and click on a group of fighters in multiplayer or single player without selecting your navy or land units instead. Those things weren't an issue to Firaxis. Oh no, no. Selecting units is not a big deal in the game. But if some random Deity players are abusing wall whip overflow, that needs to be patched. Absolutely. And that's not an isolated incident. That is the kind of thing they've been patching from pretty much start of Civ 4 until now. And if you look at their patch notes in Civ 5, what did they address? Well, they addressed the research agreement exploit, where you put some partial research into a technology and you wouldn't get it from a research agreement. They kind of reworked that so that players couldn't exploit that. They nerfed military, which really was needed, so I can't complain with that. And then they add things like El Dorado into the game, which is just nonsense, just putting in sheer chance elements. Or they're adding more downloadable content without fixing the issues that are already in the game. It's just... Or, they make the Barbed Galleys in Civ 4 spawn at 4 times the normal rate. Or they try to mess with the Influence Culture mission, rather than fixing the controls. They do so many things, and it looks like the patch priority is almost always on trying to take away things that seem just a little bit exploitative or out of the normal, as opposed to actually fixing the glaring issues with the overall game balance or the controls. And that's just such a big turn off for me that I have to fight the controls to play a game. So yeah, if you wanted to continue with Civ 5 material, I direct you to Majin and Vibor, and I will do some more Civ 4 Let's Plays, but I'm going to be out for about a week, so yeah, because I'm going to be falling into snow face first, perhaps hands first, or leading with the knees on occasion. That's what she said. Yeah, so I'll be skiing. But yeah, hopefully the Heroes 3 material will be enough to tide you guys over in the meantime. I will be releasing material once again when I am back. So yeah, that should about conclude this announcement video. Just a little bit of a picture of what's going on. Yeah, I've got some new material in terms of Let's Plays coming up as well that I would like to do. And hopefully I can finally get that capture card working. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next LP. The main team is signing off.